What's up, everybody? Episode 24 of Alex Bromwich Presents. Hope you enjoyed the interview with B-Ben yesterday. If you didn't catch it already, it's on YouTube. It's not on LinkedIn because the video is too long for me to add. I am editing it down into some chunks to tell the story in pieces for you guys who like the video uploaded. But if you really want to watch it, and I recommend it does, if you're interested in entrepreneurship or online marketing, or any of those sort of modern ways of creating a business, that's what B-Ben does for a living. That's his whole bread and butter. And so what he shared with us was really interesting, and really appreciate him taking the time out of his day to come and talk about that and share some of his pearls of wisdom for how he does those things. So today I want to talk about how to accept feedback from others. And I think that this is something that quite a lot of people struggle with. I know I struggle with it. I'm going to share a story with you about that, but it's something that's so important, because if we're not able to understand the feedback that people are giving us, how are we supposed to be able to grow as individuals, and how are we supposed to change and evolve so that we become better versions of ourselves than what we were before? And my aha moment when it came to feedback came in, I think it must have been about 2012, 2011. I was on a training course, and the instructor there was a very senior guy and very experienced. It was a sort of a very structured training course with very experienced and very knowledgeable instructors. And I was doing pretty well on the course. It was a very long, very intense course, and we had a lot of challenging time through the course, and they set us a lot of challenges. And they tested us a lot to see whether we were good. It wasn't a course where you would just turn up and then you got a certificate and left and then nothing. You were qualified to be able to train other people in the system, and they had a very high quality standard for how they expected this training to be executed. And so they wanted to make sure that the people that they let through were really good candidates. And it was such a hard course that some people dropped out crying after just a few days. It was not an easy experience for everyone, for sure. And I was I think doing pretty well, and so this instructor felt like he wanted to test me a little bit more, and I was doing a mock delivery of the training, and he was there meant to be assessing me doing the training. Instead of assessing me while I was doing it, he started playing with his phone, and then he got up, went off to the restroom, and then came back just as I was wrapping up my mock training, and then he proceeded to give me some pretty negative feedback about how my training session had gone. And rather than maybe taking the right approach to receiving that feedback, which we'd actually been taught earlier that day was how we should do that, when we get feedback, particularly from students or participants, he dug into me a little bit, and I bit back. I bit, and I said, "Look, how the hell can you even give me that feedback when you weren't even paying attention to anything that I said?" And we didn't continue the argument there, and he said, "Well, I think you need to take my feedback into account." And we left it at that. Obviously, then I had a debrief at the end of the day. Each day we had a debrief with the instructor, and he would give us the feedback. And but between the time when this incident happened, where I bit back at him, and we had that feedback session, obviously I had time to digest what had happened and realised that I'd reacted improperly from the feedback that he'd given me. And so I went into that, that feedback session at the end of the day, and I said, "Look, hands up, I did not react properly to that. I'm aware of that, and that's something I'm going to improve on." And so the way that I think that I should have reacted in that situation, and the way I always try to react now when people give me feedback, whether I like it or not, my first reaction that I really try to make sure that I'm doing is to thank the person for giving me the feedback. Because I think genuinely, when most people are giving you feedback about something, they're not trying to critique you in order to put you down. They're trying to critique you in order to give you input so that you can try and be better next time, so you can try and improve on the way that you do things, on the way that you work with things. And so I think that that's where we should be thankful that those people have taken the time to think about what we're doing and thought about what they could tell us that might be able to help us improve that in the future. And whilst it may not be easy to hear some of those things, and maybe we don't think they've come from a place of knowledge of where we're from or why we're doing what we're doing, we should still respect that there's someone's opinion and that they've taken the time in order to give us that. So I like to always start with a thank you when someone gives me feedback. I like to then absorb it. I don't answer back. I don't make an excuse. I try and just take it on and think about it and process it. And then if I have any more follow-up questions, I'll take them at a completely different time. And, I don't always manage to do it like this. It sounds perfect in the head when you talk about it, but I think that it's really important that you try and do that and try and program yourself in order to react that way, because I think then you will get much better feedback. You'll be more open to more feedback from more people, and people will be more willing to give you feedback if you receive it well. And the better feedback you get, the better quality feedback, the higher frequency of feedback that you get as an individual, the better you will understand yourself and the way that others perceive you. And that can only give you a way to build more strength going forward. So that's a little bit of a story from my time in training and when I received feedback very poorly and what I learned from it. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, please give us a share, hit a like, subscribe to us on YouTube, give us a comment and tell us what you think and how you receive feedback on LinkedIn. We'd be really interested to hear that, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Thanks.